How often do startups actually make kind of cool smartphones? It reminds me of like the Sega's V Squared where we got really excited for it, but they spent a lot of money on marketing it and sending it to YouTubers, but then the actual release gets delayed so many times we forget it exists. I'm getting those kind of vibes right now with the Essential phone, which everyone is talking about on social media. It is the first product from this new company known as Essential, founded by Andy Rubin, who is the co-founder of Android itself. He's worked at Apple for a couple years. He's worked with Google. He's been around the block a few times. And he even feels partially responsible for Android being a little too confusing now, which, you know, I can't blame him for. If I was a co-founder of Android, I wouldn't be too happy with the current situation with it. I'm not an Android fan, and it doesn't seem like he's completely satisfied with it either. So this is his response, the Essential phone. Specs and features on it are not bad. It seems kind of unique for a brand new company to be releasing a phone like this. That outer caged bumper is made of titanium, very lightweight material that is very durable, stronger than that of aluminum. And the glass on the back is not even glass, it's ceramic, which is what Apple uses on the charging back of an Apple Watch. It's a very, very durable material. It's very premium. It's kind of a mixture between glass and metal, and it comes in a glossy and matte finish. There's no camera bumps at all in the back, which is nice. There's a dual camera setup, though it's not like wide angle and telephoto. This is monochrome and color so that you can get better quality photos. But hey, it's a dual camera nonetheless. I thought the back design of the cameras and the flash and these two pins that I'll talk about in a second are kind of unique. Most people put them in the top left corner or right in the center like Samsung, and he's kind of put them in this weird place. But it's nice because the front-facing camera on the front is still able to retain where a front-facing camera should be, right dead center, via a little camera cutout in this edge-to-edge display, which looks gorgeous. It's a 5.7-inch OLED display in a very small form factor smartphone. So I get all the hype around it. This is pretty impressive for a startup company's first move. And that little camera cutout is a similar design that Apple will be using on the iPhone edition. So this gets us a good taste for that. It uses USB-C for charging, although there are no current rumors on if it's waterproof or how water resistant it is, so I'm gonna guess that that's not a priority. At best, it's gonna have IP67 like an iPhone. I feel like if they're building it out of titanium and ceramic, that durability must be kind of important at least, so I'd assume water resistance would go along with that. But one thing you will not find on the Essential phone is a headphone jack. Preach, Andy. That's great. That takes some hardcore courage, especially as a startup who's trying to get as many people into it as possible. Now, he does include the USB-C to audio jack adapter with the purchase of the device, just like Apple, so hats off to that. Though I'm not quite sure if headphones are going to be included with the purchase. I haven't seen any on their website, and since this bad boy starts at $700 to reserve, and it's only gonna get more expensive from there, I'd be kind of pissed if I had to spend that much money on a smartphone that didn't come with its own pair of headphones. If you're gonna only have USB Type-C, I would hope that it would come with some premium USB-C powered headphones that show off how high quality audio can be. Now, along with the USB-C port, they've added this new design of these two little pins on the back where you can attach modules for different types of accessories, and it just latches straight onto the back. And these two little pins only transfer power. All the data that is transferred wirelessly because that's right under the phone, and they're making this 360-degree camera that you'll be able to strap on, and there you go. Now you have a 360 cam built into that phone. He's hoping that more third-party developers will make more accessories so that you can attach all kinds of modules to the back of the phone. One reason he pointed out this is a smarter approach to modular smartphones is because with things like the Moto Z, it's cool that you can have speakers and extra battery life, but you're kind of making the accessories to the exact dimensions of that smartphone, which means they are not future-proof. If they want to make the Moto Z2, that phone cannot be too drastically different from the first generation because all these modules in cases can only fit that exact shape. Andy is saying with this smartphone, these modules will be able to last on upcoming phones that are not yet out. And in that way, modules will be more future-proof, which I gotta agree with him. If you're gonna do modules that way, that's a pretty clever way of doing it. Oh, this is very interesting because there wasn't really some video they announced explaining, you know, here's what the Essential phone is, you know, with the Johnny Ive style white background with them talking about poetry and technology. Didn't do any of that. He just kind of went out to the press and had this conversation with, you know, Walt. And I watched a lot of that interview they did. I gotta say, I kind of like this guy. I get that he's making an Android phone, and I'm not team Android, obviously. I'm a huge Apple sheet, but a lot of what he says, I agree with. Like, Walt was interviewing him and saying, like, there's no headphone jack. And he's explaining to him, well, you know, we include the adapter, and also with this module on the back, you could potentially have higher quality audio jack strapped right onto the back so that you could have, like, FLAC audio. And Walt's like, yeah, but I didn't have to pay for an audio jack before. And he's like, yeah, it's called progress. I admired that guy. He's like, well, look, People want their smartphones to have edge-to-edge displays now. You can't have headphone jacks ramming up underneath the screen. That makes the manufacturing process harder, especially with features that the Essential phone has, like wireless charging. How cool is that this startup of a company can put wireless charging on their first smartphone, and yet Google makes the Google Pixel. They can't even pull that off. Hats off to Google. He just says, hey, things are getting wireless now. He even said that he has intentions on the future of making a phone that is entirely portless, as in you charge it wirelessly and you listen to your music wirelessly. I like this guy. That's an Apple thought. So yes, he's making an Android phone, but he's also working on this Essential home device that is directly competing with the Amazon Echo, and I'm sure the Siri speaker and the Google Home and all that. But he's not making like a third party. He wants this Essential home device to work with all digital assistants of all carriers. That means Apple, Samsung, Google, everyone will work with this. He's going to do everything he can to ensure that, and whether or not it is compatible with all these third parties will be up to the third parties themselves. As in Samsung, Google, Amazon, Cortana, they will probably be compatible with this device, but a company like Apple will likely say, no, you need our Siri speaker. But he's just promising that he will do whatever he can. Also, I'd like to mention that the people during that press conference where he showed off this new phone, total jerks. Like, one guy just went up to the microphone and said, that camera cutout at the top looks weird. Can you talk about why you're okay with that?
Can you speak a little more about the sort of odd design choice of wrapping the top of the screen around the selfie camera, especially since you have sort of that lower lip as well?
I was like, dude, lay off. I think the fingerprint reader placement on the Galaxy S8 sucked, but I wouldn't walk up to the guy who designed it and said, hey, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? Like, the guy's put all this work and money into this phone, and now the second he unveils it, all these people are gonna walk up to the stand and say, hey, that looks stupid. God, what is wrong with the world? I mean, I know he's Team Android, but please, people, give the guy some credit. It is not easy to enter this smartphone field. So I have to say I'm kind of excited. I will not be ordering one though. All of my money right now is being reserved for the new iPad and the new Siri speaker, and of course the iPhone edition, which is gonna cost me an insane amount of money, but I need to start saving for it. So I don't have it in my budget right now, at least to review the Essential phone. If you guys keep up with the super chat during these live streams, maybe it can happen. Maybe we could have a dedicated Essential phone live stream or something like that. Do something like, if you guys can reach me halfway, then I'll review the phone. I don't know. But I'd be very curious to. I'd love to review this smartphone. It's the first Android smartphone in a while that has gotten me excited, because this is a startup and this guy seems very capable and very future thinking. And it seems like a very premium smartphone that I would like to try, with that titanium build with ceramic, wireless charging, dual camera, no camera bulge, edge-to-edge display on the front. What are your thoughts on the Essential phone? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be very curious to check it out if this channel continues to grow the way it is. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.